We need the more concrete decisions from NATO, from European Union, from G7, from G20, from all partners and international organizations. Up to now, we received a lot of help of Ukraine from our international partners, and we are expecting more help from NATO, from G7, from European Union, because only with help we can defend our country, because we are now standing against the second military forces in the world, I mean Russian army. It's not easy to confront with them, but we are very have a success on the ground, on the battlefield, and we need a protection in the air. We need a non-fly zone, and with the hope we will receive the more help from our international partners. Now the Russian failed to achieve all goals, and now after 1 month in Ukraine, Russia in dead end, and Russia is looking to continue to increasing its Russian propaganda and to make pressure to the Ukraine and to involve more partners in the world. Ukraine was ready for negotiations from the first second of the when the war was started by Russia. And we are peaceful nations, and we are ready for negotiations. We are fully understand and responsible for understanding that this war and all war in the world, in the history, must be stopped only after the negotiations. And the Ukrainian government just send a clear message that we are ready for negotiations, and negotiations already started. It was the first round, and they on tete-a-tete basis, and we continue the negotiations on via internet. Now we discussing some kind of principal agreements, the draft of the principal agreements which could be reached at the level of the president. Ukrainian president declared that he is ready for meeting with the Russian president to achieve the final decision, and but no answer from the Russian side, and it's the Russian side in these negotiations did not demonstrate the constructive positions. They try to prolong these negotiations as long as possible, and they repeating the Russian propaganda narratives, and it's so sad that they repeated the Russian ultimatums against Ukraine. Ukraine stay very strong in this position. We don't accept any ultimatums from the Russia. It's not the red line for Ukrainian side. We don't accept ultimatums on the Ukrainian sovereignty and territorial integrity, and we feeling and accepting the good support from international partners who wants to support Ukraine in the negotiation process. We highly appreciate and grateful for the help from the Turkish side, European side, United Kingdom side, that they help us to in this negotiation process, and we are keen to have as a final result of these negotiations the new agreement which provides Ukraine security of our independence. Yes, a couple of days ago it was a meeting between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Russia and Ukraine, organized with the support of Turkey, and we we are grateful for the partners, real partners like Turkey now to help us, Ukraine, to negotiate with Russia, because Russia tries to avoiding the direct negotiations now. And with the help of such partners like Turkey, we can talk with the Russian at the table. And not only Turkey and other countries as well helping us to negotiate with Russia, and directly or indirectly even they continue to contact with Putin, with Russia, to stop the war. And we really appreciate this support. And we are ready, as our president, as Minister of Foreign Affairs said, we are ready for continuation of this kind of negotiations. And we want to see if the Russia really wants to negotiate. We don't, up to now, we don't see the concrete serious proposition from the Russian side to discuss. Donbass and Crimea is an integral part of Ukraine. As we know, Russia insisted Ukraine to recognize Donbass and Crimea region as a Russian, but it will never happen. I repeat, never happen. We have a red line in our negotiation process. Ukraine will confirm that all Ukrainian territorial integrity, including Donbass and Crimea and Crimean. It's our red line, which it's not negotiable in our negotiation process with Russia. Ukraine and all the world have heard accusations from Russia in neo-Nazism, in militarizing the Ukrainian nation. And I could continue about that Ukraine has a biological, chemical, even nuclear weapon. But I don't want to lose time just to refute this absolutely Russian propaganda. I just want to say, using by another words, the Russian regime did not demonstrate any proof to its Russian propaganda. It's first, and second, absolutely no any third party, I mean third countries or respectful specialized international agency organizations did not demonstrate any proof that what the Russian regime saying is. We absolutely does not confirm this and absolutely refute this all this accusation from the Russian regime. Thank you. It's very good question and timely question. In what happening in Ukraine now. We Ukrainian president have sent the official request to join European Union as soon as possible, and we received a positive signal from Brussels, from European Union. The European Union opened the door for Ukraine, and we are going to be a full member state as soon as possible. Now the consultations about how to organize the procedures to organize a so-called fast track for Ukrainian, like a green corridor to Ukraine, is already under the consideration and under the drafting. It's very good and strong signal for Ukrainian nations, for Ukrainian army to be more stronger, and at the same time it's a very good signal. It makes our enemy Russian army more weaker against concerning this signal. And we are a member of European Union family, and we want to be a full-fledged member of European Union. And we understand that Ukraine is a member of Europe geographically, and we want to be a member politically. We have heard Russian conditions already during 1 month, and we are staying strong in our position. We did not and we don't accept the Russian conditions, because Ukrainian president, Ukrainian people, we know the Ukrainian conditions. And may I repeat, Ukraine does not accept any Russian ultimatums, because conditions is ultimatums of just to it's ultimatums against the Ukrainian sovereignty and territorial integrity. Ukraine does not want to be occupied and doesn't want to be colonized by Russian. We don't want to go again to the influence of Russia. And we understand that Russian empire cannot exist without Ukraine, and everybody in the world understands it. And Ukraine must stop the existence of Russian empire, and we are doing now well. Ukraine with the world, with the real partners, and with Russian society, because he cannot stop himself. As Ukraine, with the international support, only we can stop the Putin, we can stop the war, because we are fighting for the real freedom and real independence. Not only the Ukraine, the real independence of the Europe and all over the world, because everybody understands who helps us that Putin will not stop only in Ukraine. Now all countries in the world fully understand that this war in Ukraine will make an impact everywhere in each country, even in small countries which are placed very far from Ukraine. Now we have seen the increasing the prices in the food and fuel sources, and it will make an impact. And we call on the world, please, to stop Russia to continue the war against Ukraine, because it will make a very negative effect, including that Tunisia. All Tunisia knows that Ukraine is a very positive and big contributor to the food security of Tunisia. We supplying more than 40% of grain to Tunisian market, and now we see in the Tunisian supermarket the empty shelves of the wheats from Ukraine, and it's just only the beginning. And I am just wondering what will be after a couple of days or months if the war will continue. It will make a negative impact. So that's why we call on all the world to stop the war against Ukraine as soon as possible, to stabilize the markets, to stabilize the economies. Yes, Ukraine is a very big player in the world food security system, and we are on the threshold of the starting the sow in Ukraine. And if the war will be stopped as soon as possible, we recover our economy, we will sow the grain in our land, and we will have the good harvest in this year, and we can make a stabilizing the negative process which already started in the world economy. Regarding the alternatives, all alternatives will have the price. It will make influence in the price. The price will be raised. I mean, for food, for energy sources, and we need to stop this war. We call on the world to stop the Russia as soon as possible, not make the continuing negative impact of the war in the world economic system. We had, and I do hope we will continue to have the very good economic relations. Our trade over for the last years reached more than $400,000, and during last years we had a positive dynamic. Every year our trade increased more than in 10-15%, and we have reached a very good deal to start the negotiation process to sign the free trade agreement between two states, and it's very good and perspective signal for both countries to make our trade relations more closer. And we already organized the very big trade exhibitions in Ukraine last year. We have a lot of plans to how to stimulate our businessmen to trade with each other, because Ukraine very good opportunity for Tunisian businessmen to reach the European and Asian market. We could be used for Tunisian as a trade logistic hub for Tunisian goods and services to the Europe and to the Asia countries. As well, Ukrainian expect from Tunisian good support that Ukrainian goods could be trade or exported using the Tunisian market to another countries in African region. As an ambassador of Ukraine here, I know that Tunisian students is very important issue in our bilateral relations, and I want to say that in contacting with close contact with the Tunisian government, it was work regarding the evacuation of Tunisian students was done very successfully. Before there were more than 1,000 Tunisian citizens lived in Ukraine, and almost all of them already evacuated from Ukraine successfully. And it's because of the very close and very in permanent contact between Ukrainian and Tunisian government. And now the Tunisian students waiting the information regarding how they will continue. Ukrainian side, namely embassy, already provided on our website that we have the system how to continue the education on distance, and how they will receive the diplomas, and how they will return to Ukraine to continue studies. We are spreading this information to the Tunisian students, and in this regard I want to say it's important that from another side Russia stated that Russia could accept the Tunisian students, but I want to say that for the Tunisian parents of the students, I think you should to know that Russia now is more and more isolated in the world, and they want to use the Tunisian students as a hostage, because now Russian diplomas will not be recognized in the world. It's important. Ukraine has a European program of education, and the Ukrainian diplomas recognized everywhere, and you should to be a little bit patient now, and Ukraine, when the war will be finished, we will welcome the all Tunisian students to continue study in Ukraine. Thank you for having me, and may I wish all Tunisian people be peaceful countries. Thank you for your support, and I really wish the independence of your countries and to be free.